All right, TSL, let's get it. Welcome back to another episode of the Sales Life Sales Edition. Now, we have two different platforms. And so there's the Sales Life, which is taking the skills that we learn by the sales profession and apply those to your personal life. But then there's the sales, the Sales Life on sales. This is strictly devoted for those in the sales profession looking to plus size their game. So today, man, I'm going to talk about a technique that has worked very well for me in my sales career. It's called the TBOG technique. That way you can have better conversations in your sales life, in your sales career that equal into more conversions also. So those of you who are watching live, be sure and hit the like and the share and the comment, show your support. That way, the more when you put the comments out there, when you say things, then what that's going to do is it's going to help others as well. So be sure and show your support to the show. If you're watching this on the replay, man, just leave your comments. I'll come back around and say hello to you on that. So the TBOG technique has worked very good. Like I said, has worked very well in my sales career. And the TBOG technique, let me liken it to comedian Kevin Hart. Comedian Kevin Hart has made a career out of TBOG, TBOG, take the bullets out of the gun. And so what that basically means is he takes what the audience is thinking about him. So whatever scandal that he's been in, whatever headline that he's made, whatever the shortcomings that he's had, he takes all of those things. He takes what they're thinking and he makes a joke about it. And he keeps it real. A lot of times, man, he talks about the pain. He talks about how he messed up. And then he ends it on the high side. It makes people laugh. See, instead of trying to distance himself from the situation or the shortcomings, he's been a master of incorporating it. Take the bullets out of the gun. And that way, he controls the narrative. And what I want you to do is I want you to take the same approach in your sales career. Take the bullets out of your customer's gun. See, most people who own a gun are too scared to even use it. They're too scared to fire it out. They got bullets in the gun. They're too scared to use it. And in the same way, your customers have bullets. But these bullets are their objections, their fears, their concerns, their biases from previous times that they've bought, all these things, man. And what they're doing is these are the bullets and they're suppressing them and they're too fearful in voicing them. They're too fearful in voicing them because they don't want to look uneducated or unprepared or even weak. And if you're ever going to be successful in sales, you got to learn the art of taking the bullets out of the gun. And what that is it's getting the conversation out of your customer's head and out into the open. So that way you can address their concerns and convert it into more sales. Now, I wish it was as easy as just running at the customer to my man, what's your problem? They're not going to do that. As a matter of fact, they're going to pull back on you. So you've got to learn a technique. You've got to learn the art. And instead, what you do is, instead of running right at them, what you do is you artfully create a narrative based on what you have, what's available. And so these are the cues that you get from their body language, from their moments of hesitation, or even the indirect questions that they ask or statements that they're making. This is why it's so important to not only listen through the ears, but listen through the body, listen through the facial expressions. Because many times what you're going to find is they're tap dancing around what the real objection is, what the real concern is. And so what you've got to be able to do is, here's the art to it. You got to take what you perceive is their concern. And now you make it a part of your narrative. So for instance, I'm in the car business, so I'm a use it. 23 years in the car business, and I'm a use it. But whatever field that you're in, man, you can swap the fields out and use this technique. So, say for instance, if I'm talking to a customer who lives 500 miles away, and they call about a used vehicle, in the course of the conversation, I may sense some sort of hesitation. TBOG it. So, what I got to do is I got to make their hesitation a part of the narrative. And so the way that I do that is I say, you know what? Many customers that I've worked with over all the years I've been doing this, many customers that I've worked with have voiced the concerns, and they're afraid that if they commit to a vehicle from so far away, that when it shows up on your doorstep, that it's going to have Bondo all over it, or it's going to be sawed in half. And that's not the case. Our vehicles, let me tell you something, they're fully inspected. They're guaranteed. And I even go one step further with my clients. What I do is you and I are going to do a live video, and we're going to walk around the vehicle, and I'm going to point out everything that I see. If the vehicle meets your expectations, then what we'll do is great. We'll move forward. If it doesn't, that's cool too. And what we'll do is we'll look around because I got tons of inventory, and we'll look around to find the one, rinse and repeat, find the right one that fits your needs. How's that sound? Or say, for instance, this. You have a customer, and we hear this a lot. Customer wants to shop around a little bit more, right? Always think about this, man. Find the fear. There's a fear. There's a pullback in that. So say, for instance, customer wants to, you know what, Marsh, I want to shop around a little bit more. Find the fear. Now, I've asked the question, does this vehicle have everything that you're looking for? Yes. Is it missing anything that you wish it would have? No, it's the right one. Remember, actions speak louder than words. If their words are conducive that this is everything, this is perfect, the service is perfect, blah blah blah. If the words say that, but their action says something different, then you got to find the fear. So find the fear. Customer has everything that they're looking for, but then they end up stalling. TBOG it. Think in your mind. TBOG. TBOG. Take the bullets out of the gun. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use it in a narrative. And so what I'll say is, you know what, Mr. Customer, it used to be that years ago, growing up, me buying a car, you would have to shop at 20 different dealerships to keep one dealership honest. And you got to shop at 20 different dealerships. Here are all the one-liners. You got to multiply times 4, divided by the square root of pi in order to find that right vehicle, to make sure that you're not overpaying for a vehicle, right? Customer almost always is going to agree, okay? Here's where you follow up with the assurances. Our vehicles are market-based pricing, meaning that we watch the market every single day. And the market is a lot like the stock market. So what we do is we price the vehicle right. That way you can buy it right. And what's important for me is that we establish a long-term relationship. Let me tell you the great thing about the TBOG technique. Even when you're wrong, if your perception is wrong, then your customer is going to correct you and the real objection will come out. And let's say, no, Marsh, it's not this. Here's the situation. I've got some money that's coming, blah, 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 whatever. So the real objection is actually going to come out. And I didn't force it out. I just created a narrative. I created a platform. I created a storyline for them to disagree with it. So the real objection will come out. So they'll correct me. Or if I'm right, they didn't have to admit it. All they had to do was agree to it. And based on whatever that is, then I can address their concerns. I can build in more assurances. And that way, I can move my deal forward. So what I want you to do, try the TBOG technique today. Let me know what you think. Remember, the greatest sale that you will ever make is to sell you on you, because you're more than enough. Never settle. No matter what, never settle. Keep selling. Stay in the sales life. If you want to hear this one on the podcast, it's on the Sales Life on Sales podcast. Be sure and tune into that. I'd love for you to be able to be there. Let me get some people on here. What's up, Patrick Tenney? Thank you so much for tuning in. And yes, sir, find the fear. All right, guys, that's all we have for today. DM me with any questions, any concerns that you're having. Also, in sales, objections are coming up. Marsh, I don't know how to handle this. I have an Achilles heel. This is what it is. DM me, man, with what those concerns are, and I'll address it. We'll throw it out there on the platform, and we'll get some answers for you. All right, with that, stay amazing. Stay in the sales life.